he's still good. You know, for me, we trained to be fit. It was just like, just every day was like, we don't want to do boxing, we're going to do fitness. Because the way he beats you is fitness. He just takes you, he starts off slowly and going in, and he gets harder and harder and harder. But
dealing with a fighter individually is never really a pain. But dealing with the people that are around the fighter, it's brutal in this game because a lot of them don't understand the business, they don't understand the numbers, they don't really understand anything about boxing, but you're still having to have those conversations.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody or everybody that he fought was a no name. But I'm gonna tell you like this, what Crawford said.
Direct Chisora sends message to Canelo for upcoming Crawford fight, and it couldn't be clearer. He's reminding everyone that killers train with killers, and that's exactly Crawford's mindset. Canelo may boast about power, but Bud's discipline and killer instinct are what truly set him apart heading into this showdown.
And I'm gonna say this, to all the fighters out there, you wanna be a killer, you hang out with killers. You train like a killer. Remember that, Boxing is a combat sport, you understand?
Tony Bello backs Crawford, and he's spot on. He highlights how Bud doesn't need to bulk up or play Canelo's game. Speed, timing, and IQ are what Crawford brings, and that's more dangerous than size. And when Bellew reminds us of the Spence demolition, it's a sharp reality check for anyone doubting Crawford's resume.
I still think Terence Crawford wins, and I still think he wins handily.
Do you think he's not going to bulk up? Do you think he's going to come in at his natural weight and then try and outspeed Canelo? You know,
I was watching them in a press conference and I seen Canelo saying, "Name me one elite fighter you've beaten." He kept saying, "Just one elite fighter," as everyone forgot about the Errol Spence win.
Bellew's sharp breakdown leads us straight into Antonio Tarver's warning about Canelo's power. Antonio Tarver issues a warning, and it's the oldest truth in boxing. Canelo doesn't need 12 rounds, he just needs one clean shot. But here's the twist. Crawford isn't reckless, he's surgical. Bud knows how to neutralize danger, dismantle rhythm, and make power punchers look ordinary. One punch won't save Canelo this time.
And Canelo only need one punch. You know what I mean? That really, basically, that's what it boils down to. I think Canelo only need one shot to change the game or change the fight. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. He's gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy.
Alexander Usyk crowns Crawford, and that says everything. When the undisputed heavyweight king bows his head and points to Bud as #1, it silences all critics. This isn't fan talk, it's respect from a master technician. Crawford's name is etched at the very top, and even Canelo can't ignore it.
Who's the best boxer, in your opinion, right now?
European.
No, world. Best fighter in the world, yeah.
I think it's Terence Crawford.
Many believe it's you. Many believe you're the best fighter.
No, I'm not the best fighter of the world. It's Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford, #1, yeah?
Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya doubts Crawford, but his words sound more like fear than fact. Yes, Canelo is bigger, but boxing isn't decided on size, it's decided on skill, and Crawford's skill is unmatched. De La Hoya frames this as a mismatch, but fans know Bud thrives on proving doubters wrong. That's exactly what makes this fight electric.
Is that Canelo Crawford is the biggest fight of the decade. I mean, to a purist and a fighter, it's laughable. Because you have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, who's a natural light heavyweight. Crawford, who couldn't push back Madrimov. Life and death with Madrimov. What do you think Canelo's gonna do to him? Run him out of the ring!
Carl Froch waits in, and his words capture the high-risk, high-reward nature of this showdown. He respects Crawford's brilliance, but highlights the brutal reality. Stepping up against a bigger, naturally stronger opponent like Canelo is always dangerous. Yet, what Froch doesn't fully commit to is how Crawford thrives in the unknown. Time and again, Bud has walked into hostile waters, adapted instantly, and dismantled men who were supposed to overwhelm him. Froch calls it a super fight, but for Crawford, this is just another proving ground. Canelo's size advantage might look imposing on paper, but history has shown shown us that fighters who rely only on physicality often crumble against Crawford's surgical precision. Froch paints a warning, but underneath, it only fuels the drama, because if Bud does what he always does, the so-called risk becomes his greatest triumph.
He has passed his best. He's had over 60 fights. He's made a fortune. Why is he even still fighting? But this is a super fight against Crawford. Yeah. But it could go wrong for him. He could end up losing.
From Froch's caution, we move to Lennox Lewis, who praises Crawford's razor-sharp preparation. Lennox Lewis sounds amazed, and that alone speaks volumes. A man who once ruled the heavyweight division knows greatness when he sees it, and his respect for Crawford's camp is telling. Lewis points to discipline, IQ, and focus, 3 pillars that separate legends from hype jobs. And that's where the contrast with Canelo stings. While Alvarez's recent performances suggest wear and tear, Crawford is entering this fight at his absolute peak. Brutal training isn't about lifting weights or running miles, it's about mindset. Crawford is grinding with the hunger of a man chasing legacy, not comfort. Lewis calls it stunning, and that word is key, because Canelo might be shocked the moment Bud brings that same camp intensity into the ring. If the preparation is this sharp, the execution could be historic.
At the top and be at the top. He moves very well. He's a very elusive mover, and his work rate is high.
I won't ask you who's going to win the fight, because I know it's a question you've probably been asked a million times, but I will ask you, do you think this fight goes the distance, or do you think this fight ends inside the distance?
Bomac speaks with certainty, and that's the difference between hype and truth. While critics throw doubts, Crawford's camp isn't rattled. Bomac makes it clear this isn't a weight drama story or a pressure cooker fight. It's business as usual. The same discipline that dismantled Spence, Porter, and countless others is now being pointed at Canelo. What's powerful here is the tone, calm, not desperate. Trainers often overtalk when nervous, but Bomac doesn't need to. He knows Crawford's style is adaptable. He knows the fight isn't about size, but execution, and he knows the job will get done. Fans often forget pressure destroys fighters who are unsure of themselves, but Bud, he's unshakable. If Bomac's voice reflects the mood of camp, then Crawford is walking into this fight ice cold, ready to flip all the noise into silence.
No, I don't think there's no pressure on Terence, because Terence gonna fight the way that he's used to fighting. So by saying all that stuff that Turkey say or anybody else say, that doesn't bother Terence not one bit. You know, we train for one way, the way we're gonna fight, and that's the way we're gonna get the job done.
Bomac's steady confidence is echoed by Duke McKenzie, who praises Crawford's bold leap across weight divisions. Duke McKenzie puts it straight, jumping 2 weight divisions isn't just gutsy, it's historic. But what stands out is Crawford's own voice in McKenzie's words. It ain't really that big a deal. That calmness is terrifying for Canelo fans, because it shows a man unfazed by risk. McKenzie's breakdown is smart. Moving up often brings added strength, not weakness, and Crawford already has the speed and IQ advantage. Nobody expects Bud to blast Canelo out, and that's fine. He doesn't need to. The path to victory here is precision, points, and pace. McKenzie sees it clearly. Crawford is built to box, to frustrate, and to edge every exchange. If size alone was enough, history would look very different, but skill wins fights, and McKenzie believes Crawford's skill set will carry him to the decision, a decision that could rewrite the sport's modern era.
You can give weight away, okay? But there's not a difference in class, in my opinion, in this fight. Canelo is not head and shoulders above Crawford in terms of class. If there is a class difference, it'll be in Crawford's favor. I think Crawford's much more classier.
Lennox Lewis is stunned, and that's no small statement. When a former undisputed heavyweight champion, one of the most cerebral fighters of all time, looks at Crawford's preparation and calls it brutal in the best sense, you know something special is brewing. Lewis has seen every type of champion, from the flashy to the disciplined, and he knows the difference between hype and true greatness. His praise of Crawford's discipline and sharp boxing IQ cuts through all the noise about size, weight, and power, because boxing isn't about who looks stronger, it's about who prepares smarter. Lewis points out that when Crawford locks in, he always finds a way to win. That's the hallmark of legendary fighters. They don't enter the ring searching for answers, they bring the answers with them. And right now, Crawford's camp is exuding that exact aura. Canelo may have power, but Crawford's preparation shows a fighter who is mentally cold, tactically perfect, and physically primed for war. If Lennox Lewis is this impressed, fans should pay attention. Greatness recognizes greatness.
Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove whether he's still the best, he might win.
BMAC speaks with ice-cold certainty, and that tone tells you everything about where Crawford's camp really stands. Pressure, nerves, outside noise, none of it matters.
But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo because, like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down. And Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe. And he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So, I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So, so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight. At like 60 or like at least at 60, just to get his body, to fill into somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that.
Duke McKenzie breaks it down, and his perspective is refreshingly sharp. He highlights something casual fans overlook. Moving up in weight doesn't always weaken a fighter. Often it adds strength and resilience. Crawford himself brushing it off as not a big deal is exactly what makes him terrifying. That confidence isn't arrogance, it's experience. He's been through weight classes before, carried his power, and sharpened his timing. McKenzie sees it clearly. Bud doesn't need to knock Canelo out to win. He just needs to box his fight, and in truth, that's the nightmare scenario for Canelo. Alvarez is used to men either trying to overpower him or survive him. Crawford will do neither. He'll outthink him, outpace him, and chip away round by round. McKenzie's prediction of a points win isn't a dismissal of Bud's power. It's respect for Canelo's chin. But more than that, it's faith in Crawford's skill set. Points or knockout, a win is a win. And if Bud wins here, the pound-for-pound debate ends immediately.
Why do you think Canelo stops Crawford?
Being in with all the styles. Listen, Bivol kind of, if he was up there with Bivol, and Bivol's one of the most elite 175 pounders there are. Canelo's a natural 160, 168 pounder. So for him to go up there and do it, I don't think the skill set of Crawford would really trouble him either.
Robert Garcia strikes a balance, acknowledging Crawford's greatness, but questioning the physical toll of moving up. He praises Bud's speed, skill, and combinations, but wonders if the added pounds will slow his footwork. It's a genuine concern, and one rooted in boxing reality. Fighters often lose a fraction of their sharpness when they bulk up unnaturally, but here's where Garcia's analysis cuts both ways. Crawford isn't approaching this as a weightlifter, he's approaching it as a scientist. Every pound added has been strategic, built for function rather than vanity. That's why Garcia himself still gives Crawford a chance. He knows Bud's IQ is off the charts, and he knows greatness lies in how fighters adapt. Yes, speed might dip slightly, but Crawford's timing, arguably the most important weapon, will remain intact. Timing beats speed every time. Garcia's we'll see is more of a curiosity than a doubt, and that curiosity reflects the broader boxing world. Everyone respects Bud, but everyone wonders how far genius can stretch. This fight might just give us the answer.
I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork.
This is the fight that defines an era. Terence "Bud" Crawford isn't just stepping up 2 weight divisions, he's stepping into boxing history, daring to do what most fighters wouldn't even dream of. If he conquers Canelo Alvarez, the debate about the greatest fighter of this generation ends immediately. No excuses, no debates. Bud will have stamped his name alongside the all-time greats, but if Canelo pulls it off, he proves he's still the face of boxing, still capable of humbling even the pound-for-pound king. That's why the stakes are sky high: legacy, pride, and immortality. Crawford's calmness tells us he's ready, his preparation screams focus, while Canelo looks like a man desperate to protect his throne. One is fighting to conquer, the other is fighting not to lose. And in boxing, hunger often beats comfort. Fans across the world know this isn't just another mega fight. It's a generational clash where IQ meets power, where discipline meets experience, and where history will be rewritten no matter the outcome. So tell us, are you backing Crawford to shock the world, or do you believe Canelo still has the fire to defend his crown? Drop your thoughts below.